Hey everyone, Chef Jessica here. And if you are on a weight loss journey, but you're confused about your nutrition, this video is for you. I'm going to make it very simple and clear. And if you are on a GLP or research peptide, then this is the video that is for you. I have personally spent 30 years working with people on just about every type of health issue you can imagine, every dietary restriction, allergy, health goal, even unique ones like having to gain weight. I have worked in hospitals, universities, corporate wellness, cancer research institutes, and I've worked with professional athletes, high powered corporate executives, and everyday families in their homes. And just when you think you've seen it all, new things come along that we have to learn. And GLPs are now here in the mainstream. They've been around for a while, but they are now at the point where just almost everybody is using them if they need them because research peptides are so widely available. I personally have had my own weight loss journey. I've lost about 25 pounds over the last 8 years, and I've done this through nutrition strategy and not restriction. And so when I talk to you about nourishing your body, this is something that I personally lived with myself and my clients. And so I want to talk to you today about weight loss and nutrition strategy while you are taking peptides, because these peptides are a support system, but they are not the only thing that you need to do to lose the weight. You definitely need to have your nutrition strategy dialed in. And in fact, I believe it's even more important when you're on a peptide because otherwise you will be malnourished. These peptides reduce your appetite, and if you don't eat properly, you're going to lose muscle instead of fat. And don't get me wrong, I actually think they are amazing. I love them. I think they are the future of health and longevity. And I think they're great, especially for women in midlife whose metabolism and hormones are working against them. They take away cravings, they regulate your appetite. And even with some of them, they can help you speed up your metabolism and fat burning. But you still have to do your part. You have to know how to eat properly and nourish yourself. And that does look different for everybody, but there are some general rules that you need to follow to make sure that you are nourished. And my new guide is out and it's called Nourish to Flourish. And that is really what it's all about. Nourish to flourish. When your appetite drops, it's tempting to just skip the meals altogether. But under eating on a GLP is going to slow your metabolism down and you lose muscle instead of fat. And believe me, that is not what you want to do. You need to make sure you are getting enough protein to not lose muscle. But at the same time, you don't want to skip carbs. If you skip carbs, you're going to feel exhausted. You're not going to get the proper workouts. You're not going to have the energy to get through your day. And on top of that, you don't want to ignore fiber. When your appetite is suppressed, a lot of times people just eat whatever is convenient. They might grab a protein bar, and fiber gets completely left out of that, which leads to digestive issues, which is already a common side effect of peptides. So fiber is so important when you're taking the GLP and peptides. And on top of all of that, drinking enough water is key. Hydration matters on these medications, and taking electrolytes is key, especially if your appetite and your food intake is down because you're already getting less fluid and fewer minerals from food than you normally would. So let's talk a little bit about protein and balancing your macros. Protein is key. It's number one to make sure you maintain your muscle mass, but protein does not come alone in a vacuum as a macro. It's paired with other macros. So you have to make sure you understand how to put your day together so you're getting the right amount of protein, but not too much on carbs and fat. So you're not force feeding yourself a protein shake at 10 o'clock at night. And getting the right fiber is important, but so is getting the perfect amount of carbs. So we have energy to fuel our workouts, but we don't go over and we're not storing excess sugar. So a lot of times these peptides actually work better with carbs than on a low carb diet, but you have to have the right carbs. So legumes, vegetables, whole fruit are going to be really great choices, obviously better than a bag of chips or popcorn, but you want to learn what is sustainable long term. And putting this together is the skill that you want to learn. Putting it together is like putting together a puzzle. And that's what I call my puzzle method. It's very simple. It's basically putting together your nutrition with the right amount of carbs, protein, and fat that has your perfect macro ratio. And not all calories are created equal. For example, I might need 150 grams of carbs, 120 grams of protein, and 50 to 55 grams of fat per day. And you might need something totally different. And that might sound like a lot of fat, but I could easily hit that in one meal. So I have to be very mindful of the type of protein I choose to make sure I get enough protein and don't go over on my fat. So things like 96% ground beef, shrimp, chicken breast, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt are the things I go for. A lot of times foods can be healthy, but they are not going to fit your macro ratio. I love certain foods out there, but they will go over my fat very easily. I love that yogurt coconut cult. It's so delicious and it's great for digestive health. But one serving is a third of my daily fat. And so I can almost never stop at one serving. And so I try to stay away from that. So reading labels is going to be very important once you know your macro ratio. One of my secrets to always hitting my macro ratio perfectly is dense bean salads. If you don't know what a dense bean salad is, you should definitely go on Dense Bean Salad Talk right now and look at all of the different dense bean salads people are making. I have some here on my YouTube channel in the shorts. And it is something that you can perfectly put together and get the right amount of protein, the right amount of fat, the right amount of carbs, and they're delicious, and you can clean out your refrigerator and make one. They're very inexpensive and nutritious. Protein shakes are another tool to help you hit your macro ratios, but it also is very important to understand the different types of protein. So, knowing the difference between isolate, casein, collagen, concentrate is going to help you understand what type of protein you want to have when. So, you're going to have a different type of protein before bed than you are right after your workout. And sometimes you can combine different types of protein, like having an isolate and a casein will give you that immediate hit of protein after your workout, but also help you stay full for a little while. I personally love the brand True Nutrition. You can find them online. They are a local San Diego company, but they ship nationwide. And you can build the exact type of protein powder you want in your favorite flavor. They have high quality protein powder. A lot of it is microfiltered. They have hydrolyzed protein. They have debitterized protein. They have all sorts of proteins. I don't know how many different kinds they have, but trust me, you will find what you need there, and the quality is great, and they custom make your order. So I love having an option like that. But the idea is really to put together the meals like a puzzle that is going to fit your ratio. So, for example, a cottage cheese with a piece of whole fruit, or a hard boiled egg with some whole fruit, or edamame with some whole grain crackers, cottage cheese with some chia seeds, or however you want to combine things. There's so many different ways that you can do it. And it really depends on what you like and what you don't like. But it comes down to putting it together like a puzzle. And that's what I can help you do. And calorie counting is really not the goal. If you have your macros dialed in, your calories will fall into place naturally. And understanding that it's not about force feeding yourself, or it's not about skipping eating either. It's about intentional eating nutrient dense meals spaced throughout the day so you can have that nourishment. You can have the right macro ratio. You can fuel your body. You can maintain muscle. You can lose fat. And you will succeed if you do this. And you will make sure that you are lean, you are healthy, and you can get through your workouts. Strength training is going to be key to make sure you build muscle, but you cannot do the proper strength training if you don't fuel your body. So don't skip meals and don't stop eating. And I'm not saying that you need to force feed yourself. I am saying that you want to nourish to flourish, because that is going to be what you need to do to succeed and to get your body looking and feeling the way that you want to do, to get through your workouts, to get through your day, to feel happy and healthy, and eventually cycle off the GLP when the time comes. And so it's not something you have to be on forever. So, being on a peptide is not about starving yourself, it is a tool to help you get healthier. And I'm here to support you with that. I have my $1 guide linked in my bio, it's in the description, and it's called Nourish to Flourish. I walk you through exactly how to do this. I give you a macro breakdown, I give you a sample 2 week menu plan, and I also share about 2 dozen recipes that help you map out your exact strategy that fits your goals. So, if this is something you want support with, I can work with you. I have a link for a call with my $1 guide. Feel free to drop your questions in the comments and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss this next video, and like as well if this helped you. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time.